And welcome everyone to the Kick Spot episode number 2. I hope y'all doing all right. Hope you've been doing all right. I haven't live streamed in quite some time. I can't even remember the last time I live streamed. It's been a while. But I plan on getting back into the swing of things. And by the beginning of next month, things should be organized to where I'll be back live streaming consistently. Okay, so everyone can look forward to that. I want to thank everyone for tuning on in. Everyone inside the Cookie Crush chat. I know there's a lot been going on in the world of social media, dealing with several individuals. And one of the people I want to talk about today is Jay Morrison. I also want to talk a bit about Umar Johnson. In fact, I have a list of things. Again, this is episode number 2, the Kick It Spot. Also want to mention real quick before we get into this, I did 3 videos for members. I did a video on P. Diddy, a video on Jay Morrison, and also just uploaded a video about 2 hours ago dealing with Umar Johnson. We'll get in a little bit into Umar Johnson and Jay Morrison today. I will be expanding content, and like I said, when we get into next month, you guys will see what I'm talking about. I'm not going to say nothing else. I'm just going to do it. Okay. Of course, I want to talk about Jay Morrison, the Tulsa Real Estate Fund, legacy. What he calls this, the Legacy Center, but it's also known as a Black House. It is for sale. That's very significant. I plan on. No, I'm not going to say I plan on. I will be starting a series to talk about Jay Morrison at length. There's a lot to cover with that guy. He like Umar Johnson, like Polite, like Nature Boy. There's plenty of other people to have consistently done damage to Black people here in social media land, if you will. And Jay, unlike Umar, he maybe 2.5, probably close to 2.7, 2.8 million dollars by now. Jay Morrison, we're talking 11.5, $12 million. So that's very significant. And to see where things are at right now, it's a shame. Okay, I'm not surprised though. I'm gonna talk a little bit about that during today's live stream. Thank you all again, everyone in Cook Crush chat. I want to talk about Cat Williams a little bit as well. This guy is smart. He's really smart, and it really puts things into perspective. Why he did what he did at the beginning of the year. He set the internet on fire, went viral. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about LeBron James. I'm a Lakers fan. I'm into basketball, have been since the Showtime Lakers back in the 80s, and then getting into the Bulls with Michael Jordan. Okay, and then the Lakers again when Kobe and Shaq. Kobe, rest in peace. And then here we are now, and it's sad. I watched the game last night. It was hard to watch at that end, but it was a good game though. We're gonna talk about that. Also, going to talk about Nikola Jokic. People have been talking about him as an all-time great. I want to give my perspective on that during this live stream. And I want to talk about Caitlin Clark a little bit. She did land a multi-million-dollar shoe deal with Nike. Congratulations to her. And then Umar Johnson, sabotage. That's one of his favorite words. It's more excuse-making. And that's what he's been up to as of late. Okay, so let's get into this. I want to start with Jay Morrison. Let me get to this chat room real quick to give some shout outs to people because I ain't been here in a while. Big Shirley says it's getting late. Big Shirley. Oh, goodness. Community and culture. That's nice. Evening all. This is the perfect end to my crazy day. Only these characters could match the craziness. I know it is. It's wild. It's wild. What's up, 7 Still Stories in the building, and Jesus Price is in the building as well. Thank you so much for subscribing, Jazzy Decor, a new subscriber. Thank you so much. I will be expanding content. I already talked to my wife about it. It's happening starting next month. And I'll be back consistently live streaming. Have been that consistent. And I thought about it. Really, I have been consistent for like a year in. When did I take my break last year? I thought that was in February of last year. And I took I took like 8 months off or something like that. I was still doing member content. I want to thank everyone too who's been a member. I appreciate it. I did member content, but I didn't do any live streams. And then I started back, I think in November, and then I went through February, and then I've been off since like the middle of February, I think, something like that. So I'll be back consistent starting next month. All right. Thanks for becoming a member. Obviously, excuse me, for subscribing. Okay. I want to encourage everyone to subscribe if you don't mind. How's it going, Mariposa? Thank you for being here. And Hasa's in the building. How's it going, Hasa? Hope you're doing all right. Hope everything's going well with you. Good to see you. Good to see you. Star Secret Umar has been up to something fishy. Yeah, I know. We're going to get into that a little bit. I have a whole list of videos that we're going to get into. I want to try to get them like jam-packed in like over the next week or so. Hold on. Let me pull my notes up real quick. That's to show y'all I'm not making this up. So I actually have an Umar video schedule. I have not been following him, but I've been keeping tabs. People have been sending me links and sending me images and all kinds of stuff. I want to thank people who have done that. But there are 7 videos that I want to get to. We won't do them like all in one show. Probably one video per show. One is someone sent me a link to Umar talking about FDMG at Coppin State. I think that's how you pronounce it. And they said he was lying. I'm sure he's lying. He's always lying about FDMG. So that's a video I've already downloaded. We'll get into. Another one is Umar Johnson social media shows the state of FDMG. And I'm calling it FDMG PIC, Prison Industrial Complex, the FDMG Prison Industrial Complex. And I'll explain why once we get into that particular video. I kind of explained it a little bit for the video for members today. Umar, and then there's another one. Umar said the renovations were complete. We need to revisit that because he said that back in August of 2023, but he also said that towards the beginning, I think August of 2023. But he also stated that stuff still needs to be done. Okay, so I want to get into that. Umar Johnson, he was planning an Africa trip, and I think he was charging $5,000 a head, and that means double occupancy. So you get to share a room with someone, and it's $5,000 or $6,000 for that trip. I want to talk about that. Download that video too. That's significant too, because prior to him doing that video, and it wasn't a live because he's been banned off of social media. I've talked about that for members and why that's significant. There's stuff going on with this guy. I'm getting ahead of myself because we're supposed to be covering this when I get to the Umar Johnson segment of this live stream. We'll be here for about an hour, okay? But that was significant because he hadn't live streamed and showed these abandoned buildings up to that point, probably for about 2.5 months. And then he got banned. But the idea of him not live streaming when he could have live streamed and showing the condition of the entrapped vandals up there in Wilmington, that's very telling. Okay. And I'll get more into that a little bit later on. Also, I wanted to go back to the video with Umar Johnson. He's talking about moving to Africa after FDMG opens, because it just goes to show you that he has no intention of opening up a school. Now, all of this is just smoke and mirrors. There's also an interview with Father David, another one, Father David. I downloaded the full version. I have to edit out stuff because there's music and commercials, and I'll do that. We'll do a live stream on that video by itself. And then we got to get caught up on the Paint Day fiasco. Okay, so that's all the stuff doing with Umar. But I'm going to come back to this topic in just a moment. Thank you so much for being here, Starseed. I appreciate it. Nubia Latifah's here. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you're doing all right. How's it going, Bridget? Bridget's in the building as well. How's it going? Sigmund Hightower says, good course chat. Glad you are back. Thank you so much. And I got your email too. I got a lot of emails and people send me all kind of stuff. I just have not had time to get back with people. It's just been I've been on vacation, but I've had all this other stuff to get done. But I do have to go back to work on Friday. Okay, but I'm gonna try to live stream. No, I'm not gonna say I'm gonna try. I'm gonna live stream tomorrow. I may even live stream during the day and get a couple of live streams in. We'll see, but I will definitely live stream tomorrow. Okay, I'll set at least one of those live streams up tonight before I go to bed. Okay, thanks, Sigmund. I appreciate it. Big Shirley sent the super sticker thing. Thank you so much, Big Shirley. Here we go. Decor, welcome. Please hit the if y'all can hit the like button. Speak of decor, there's not much going on. I have a whole setup now downstairs that I set up. I'll show it to you guys. You guys will see how I'm about to get ramped back up and get busy. Okay, I'm just live streaming inside the room right now. Okay, not much decor in here. All right, that's all right. Hey, people of the Good Course, how's it going? Okay, Diggy, thanks for being here. Crystal's in the building as well. Thank you so much. EW is here. Thank you so much for being here. FDMG grand opening 2045. Yeah, we all know that it's not happening. It's not happening. Matter of fact, I forgot to put on this list. You guys, Umar, he stated. Umar states that I covered this for members, okay, but he states that the city of Wilmington denied, I'm paraphrasing, denied his, let's say, FDMG certificate of occupancy. And why? Because they discriminated against Umar. And I'm going to assume not because he's a scammer, but because he's black. So that's why he has to be able to get the certificate of occupancy. But I did the research. So a lot that goes into that, and everything has to pass there's codes. They have to, everything has to pass, and there's no way that those trap vandals have passed. But he claims that it's because of it's just another example of sabotage for this guy. But it's because of discrimination. Racial discrimination is implied, which is interesting because the irony is, and I talked about this for members, that his whole school, the idea of his FDMG is based on racial discrimination. It's a school for all black boys. I remember he was on the Breakfast Club and they were like, or I can't remember if it was Breakfast Club or some other show, but they were like, well, how are you going to pull that off? He's like, I know it's going to be hard to figure because it's illegal. You can't discriminate based on based on people's race. The school's not gonna open anyway, so I mean, what am I talking about? Anyway, grand opening 2045. Thanks, Skinny Boy G's. Okay, let's get into this. Thank you so much, Solo. Thanks for being here. And Jonathan's kid is in the building, and Crystal. Yeah, I know it's been a while. It's been a minute. Thanks, Hazel. You are dreaming right now. What's up, Cookie Crush at Lenor? What's up? Salute. Salute. People been talking so much mess. Like, you supposed to live stream last week and you this. I said you ain't even subscribed. I ain't gonna say no names, East B. You ain't even subscribed. So don't do me like that. At least be subscribed. Dang, you know, the people talk all this, they ain't even subscribed. We need some updates on Brother Jose and the Bandles. Brother Jose. Here Umar was on the phone. He was like, yeah, Brother Jose. I said, stop it. So ridiculous. Okay. What's up, Black Wolf? I told you I was coming back. I told you. All right. What's up, Sporty D? Okay, so let's get into this because I only want to do an hour. We already done 10 minutes already. I've been running my mouth already. Who wants to smoke with me? Chris Brown. Okay. What's up, W. Fraz? Here's East B. You better be subscribed. I'm not gonna say you better be, but you need to subscribe. Okay, you talk all that mess of the thing. I looked at it, you ain't even subscribed. I'm gonna go check before the show's over with. If you ain't subscribed, I'm quitting YouTube. Thank you for the super chat. I'm just gonna quit YouTube. What's up, D? That is all. Okay, all right. I'm going on. Thank y'all so much for being here. I ain't seen y'all in so long. Okay, so let's get into this. I want to start with the first topic for today, which is, and this is the Kick a Spot episode number 2. Again, I already told people I did member content this week. P. Diddy, Jay Morrison, Umar Johnson. I want to get into Jay Morrison just a little bit. And if you guys don't know, there are quite a few people that have covered Jay Morrison. I haven't covered him all that. I can't even say that I've covered him. I've talked about him, but I haven't looked into him extensively. I've talked a bit about Polite, and I'd like to come back to those videos in particular with Crypto Roots, rest in peace, because those were very telling. There was another brother that came out who was Polite's bodyguard back in the day, and he corroborates a lot of what Crypto Roots says, and I have those videos too. I would like to come back to those at some point. But Jay Morrison is an interesting case because if we look at Umar, we can say that he's collected close. My best guess at this one is probably 2.7, maybe 2.8 million dollars by now, which is a significant amount of money, especially if he's only spent $400,000 on these abandoned buildings. And then we have to beg the question, where's the rest of this money? Where'd the rest of this money go? It's not like we can say $2 million. He's put $2 million into this project using other people's money, okay? Because he doesn't have a job, none of that stuff. And yes, he's still living inside the mama closet, because when he did the video with Father David, Baba David, he's right back inside his mama's closet. And that's not hyperbole, and I'm not trying to be facetious or funny. This is a statement of fact. Then when Umar's not out there doing lectures or doing speaking engagements where they give him room and board and crushing cookies, he's right back at his mama's house inside the closet. I still don't get it why people think that this guy's gonna open up school, but we're gonna get into that a little bit later. So with Umar, 2.7 million by now, that's my best guess. With someone like Polite, I have no idea how much money he's scammed out of people, but it has to be in the hundreds of thousands. It has to be in the hundreds of thousands, easily hundreds of thousands. And there's other people we can mention, but with Jay Morrison, we're talking about, from what I remember, $11-12 million for the Tulsa Real Estate Fund. And this was a whole big thing back in the day. I mean, he was on, they had him on the news. He was on the Breakfast Club. They support some scammers. He was on the Breakfast Club. He was all over the place, and it was all a facade. It's smoke and mirrors. He was presenting himself as a real estate guru to the stars. But this guy had just filed bankruptcy prior to starting the TREF of the Torrid Real Estate Fund. There's a guy, I can't remember his name right now. He did 2 documentaries on Jay Morrison. I can't remember his name. Let me get this. And I'm not here to, and I'm not promoting him. I want to be clear about that. I stopped promoting people a long time ago. I wish I could, because that is in my heart, but I learned some tough lessons by doing that. This young man, his name is Spencer Cornelia. In fact, he has another one. It looks like another one he uploaded 4 days ago. I wouldn't mind actually doing a live review of that. We can watch it together and go through it. Jay Morrison is interesting. He's an interesting character. But Spencer Cornelia, he has all the receipts with Jay Morrison and how Jay Morrison, he didn't even own property. It's just smoke and mirrors. Filed for bankruptcy and a whole bunch of other stuff. Okay. Felon. Yeah, I don't get that. If the guy is a felon, there's one thing to be a felon in your reform, but it's another thing to be a felon and you're still criminal minded. Jay Morrison is still criminal minded because he doesn't have any conscience about what he's doing. In other words, if you do harm to people, you should feel some remorse. And sometimes we hurt people on accident and we feel horrible about it, right? Okay. It happens in relationships. My wife and I, we've been married we've been together, 23 years now. Married, and I'll say it, we're legally married. People be lying about that too. We're legally married. And there's times where I've said things and done things, not intentionally, but it's hurt her. And I felt horrible about it, right? Same thing. I have, my wife and I, we have 5 children. And I haven't always done the best. I've tried to do my best, but you make mistakes. And so sometimes you may say something to a child, and one child you can say that to, and they take it one way and they're fine. You say the same thing to another child, they take it the whole wrong way and they hurt by it. And you feel bad as a parent because you don't want to hurt your children in any way, right? So that's a different thing. You have remorse and you want to make amends. But it's another thing when you're criminal minded. The difference is when you're criminal minded, you're trying to find ways to get over on people, knowing that it's going to hurt them. But guess what? You don't even care. Well, that's Jay Morrison. That's Umar. See, that's why Jay Morrison, now he's trying to get into the Christian space. He wants to be a Christian preacher or pastor. Yet he done scammed black people out of close to at least $12 million, $11.5 million with this Tulsa real estate fund. See, and going into it, he knew exactly what he was doing. Criminal minded. His partner that set all this up, criminal as well. And even in the verbiage, in terms of how they explain it contractually, legally, how they explain things, it goes to show you that this was calculated because ultimately he's able to just skate free. But he's enriched himself in the process. Meanwhile, the investors have gotten what? Nothing. See? And he has no remorse for it. So more recently, what has happened with him is, and now let me mention this. Spencer Cornelia has covered Jay Morrison. Pocket Watching with JT has covered Jay Morrison extensively. Tony the Closer was one of the forerunners, covered I was going to say Jay Morrison extensively. Eli, with what happened to Common Sense, I haven't heard from him in a long time, but we go way back. He covered Jay Morrison as well. But the individual that really made things make sense for me was a brother named Julian Gordon. And the reason why Julian Gordon is important is because he was closer to Jay Morrison than anyone else, any of the other people that I mentioned. And he had intimate knowledge of what was going on behind the scenes. Okay. And he was the lead investor. And I think he invested $40,000. If my memory serves me, I could be wrong about that, but I believe it was $40,000. It might have been 20, but I think it was $40,000. I'm doing good. Thank you so much, Black Dot. I hope you're doing all right too. Hope you're doing all right. I appreciate that. Thanks for the super chat. Yeah, I've been away for a while, but I'm back. And starting next month, that's when I'm going to be full fledged. I have a whole new setup downstairs and everything. A couple other things I want to get down there to make it nice. I want to get a nice chair to put down there too. Y'all to see it soon. Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah. So Adina says it was 40,000. That's a significant amount of money. Okay, because it shows that this brother believed in Jay Morrison. Okay. He knew Jay Morrison closely compared to the other people that I've mentioned. So I think his story is important for several reasons, and that's one of the reasons. Now, what ended up happening was Julian Gordon started to ask questions about the TREF, the Tulsa Real Estate Fund, and what that is. It's basically an investment vehicle. Jay Morrison presents himself as the fund manager, and he's already has built up all this fake clout because it's all smoke and mirrors. He's a con man. He's a charlatan. He's just a street hustler. He's a slick talking street hustler. Just like Umar is nothing more than a slick talking street hustler, except he does it online. Okay, it's the same thing. See, I've studied Umar closely enough to be able to see the parallels, correlations between people like Jay Morrison or people like Polite. There's really no difference. Okay, they offer you a dream. I'm gonna save your black boys. Meanwhile, Umar only take care of his own kids. I'm gonna save your children from the prison industrial complex, right? We're gonna teach your boys how to be men, but he living inside of mama closet. Now I've struggled in terms of manhood in my life, but I'm not living inside my mama closet. Make sense? I'm not out here leeching off of black people. I'm not out here running through these black women. Okay. I got one woman. That's it. That's all I need. And I've always been that way. It's enough. And I mean that literally and figuratively. That's enough for me. I ain't got to have all that. It's too much. It's too much. Man, I'm trying to tell you, man, just get you one good one and just be done with it. You ain't got to worry about all this other stuff. But they always promise you something. And it's something grandiose that they know that they can't accomplish. They know that they can't achieve. They know that they don't even know how to make these things happen. What, Adina, what was Jay Morrison's level of expertise to be a fund manager? What was his knowledge base? What does his resume say that he has a history of being a fund manager? No, what his resume shows is that he don't work no job because he's a felon. But they always promise you something. And so Jay Morrison, what did he promise? He said that they were going to buy back the block. We're going to what? Rebuild Black Wall Street. Now he's pulling at the emotions because Black Wall Street, a lot of people knew about it way back in the day, but at a certain point, it started picking up where everyone was talking about it again. You guys remember that? Hit the one. Some people may not remember that, but it's not like if I go back to because I've got into the Black conscious stuff back in the late 90s. And what I don't remember people talking about Black Wall Street. There was other stuff we talked about, Kemet, and we talk about, the Kefaru, and we're talking about the Medu Netter and all this kind of stuff, right? But we weren't talking about Black Wall Street. Okay, not that it wasn't relevant. I'm just saying that these things run in cycles, and so people begin to talk about Black Wall Street and then start building traction. And so Jay Morrison sees that and he capitalizes on it because that's what criminal-minded people, they do that. They'll look for what is my entry point. Just like right now, his entry point into the Black church is his gift of gab. This goofy, and I'm gonna say it, he's goofy. Literally, he's goofy. He say he from the streets, but he's goofy. Okay, I'm not even from the streets, and I already know he's goofy. I don't mean to be mean, but it's true. I could tell. He ain't got no street in him. He's just a slick talking street hustler. It's like a slithering snake, But the point that I'm getting at is that once he saw that picking up, the momentum of that, he capitalized on that by saying, oh, you know what? We're going to rebuild Black Wall Street. And if people don't know, in my limited knowledge about Black Wall Street, this was a community in Tulsa, Oklahoma, okay, where Black people got together and they built up their own businesses and infrastructure, and they support each other, and it was thriving. And then there was riots that took place, and white people came in and destroyed the businesses and set things on fire, and it was horrible. Black people died and all this kind of stuff. Sad, right? Why do these hustlers, these black conscious con men, always use these types of traumatizing events in order to manipulate black people into giving them money? We're going to save your black boys from the prison. You know, they're locking up all the black boys. Ain't locking up mine. Now, if my sons get into some stuff, that's on them because they wasn't raised like that. I was telling my daughter the other day, because there was a fight at this. I said, listen, you wasn't raised around that. You don't know nothing about that. So when that stuff happens, don't be around that. You go the opposite way, because proximity gives way to chance. You understand me? She was like, okay. See, back in the day, you play around watching people fight. What could end up happening? It's not just no fight that pop off. Someone go to the trunk or whatever, and then that stuff happens. Anyway, they always capitalize on the tragedy and suffering of black people. And so they'll use racism. They'll use Tulsa, Oklahoma, and Black Wall Street. They'll use slavery, right? We can throw down a whole list of, what's up, X Freeman? We can throw down a whole list of stuff that they pimp paying for profit. PPP. Some of them getting PPP loans at the same time. Because that's what Nature Boy was doing. See, he was promising spiritual liberation and we're going to return to the earth. And he just turned it into a sex cult. But there was a lot of people that were looking for guidance, young people in particular. They were looking for guidance, and this is the guy they go to. I think he invented freak offs. I don't mean to be, I'm sorry, I don't mean to be like that, but P. Diddy didn't. I don't think P. Diddy started that. I shouldn't have said that, but y'all know what I'm saying. It's pimp paying for profit. You pimp black people's pain, slavery, Tulsa, Oklahoma. We can throw down a whole list of stuff, right? And that's what Jay Morrison did. He wasn't qualified to open up no fund. Just like he ain't qualified to be no preacher either. You can go and do them fake, you can do the fake, what they call that, baptism and all that stuff. But a snake is a snake and the devil's a lie. See, if a snake got to go and go get baptized in order to keep pimping the pain of black people to get the money out to black people, you think the snake gonna do it? The snake gonna do it. But that's what Jay Morrison, going into all of this, his whole approach was to capitalize off of the pain of black people. And it could be current pain, but it can also be past suffering and pain, the pain of the ancestors. That's why when people say stuff, well, they did that to us. They did that to us. Why they keep doing? No, they didn't do that to you. You weren't even alive back then, but you're trying to capitalize off of the pain of your own ancestors. You remember how they used to lynch us? Wait, hold on. What you talking about? No. See, that's pimping pain for profit. PPP. There you go. And that's exactly what Jay Morrison did. He used his Tulsa real estate fund as the gravity to pull people in. And then all of the fake bling bling and driving around in cars that he didn't own and dressing the part and, getting on the Breakfast Club. And people see this without thinking critically, wait a minute, this guy's a 3-time felon. He doesn't even have a track record of managing a fund. But then they begin to invest. But the investment was an emotional thing, not an intellectual one. See, the slick talkers get you to get into your emotions anyway. That's what they do. That's why Umar has been able to run this school scam for 14 years now. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And there's still people who believe in this foolishness. But it's emotionalism. It's not critical thinking. It's not intellectualism. There's no intellectualism involved in that. They talk to you and they talk at you in such a way to get you riled up emotionally, and they will use your pain for profit. They use the pain of your ancestors for profit. They use the pain of black people for profit. And they turn your intellectualism into nothing more than emotionalism. And once you get into that emotional state, you're more willing to what? You give up the ends, the cheese, the cheddar, the money. And in some cases, you give up the draws. See, Jay Morrison ain't about the draws. He has a wife. She's in on all this too. He's about the money, mainly. Umar's about the draws in the first place. And that's all that deals with power and control, the domination of women. But he's also about the money. He's about the food, and he's about turning that heat down. He's also about the adoration. He loves to be idolized. Well, Jay Morrison also loves to be idolized. That's why they start calling themselves these fraudulent lane. I'm a prince. I'm a king. I'm a king. You ain't no king. Living in your mama closet. So he collects. So Jay Morrison ends up collecting millions upon millions upon millions of dollars. And this goes on for quite a few years. But the investors realize at a certain point that they're not getting paid out anything. And I can't even remember what type of returns he was given. I can't get off the top of my head, but it was preferred return something. It was crazy. It's like 6% plus 50% profit. And it's the 50%. I think he takes half of the profit. I think that's how it was. And then the other 50% is divided amongst as dividends amongst the rest of the people who put in. I wonder how much money he put in. So this goes on for a while, and people started asking questions. And one of the main people that started, I already mentioned other people that's talked about this. JT, Pocket Watcher with JT, Brother Eli, what happened? Common Sense. One of the forerunners was what is his name? Tony the Closer. Okay, and then I also mentioned Spencer Cornelia, but this brother Julian Gordon. He started to ask some critical questions, and then he started doing some serious research, and he started coming back with paperwork. And when his paperwork started coming out, people realized, man, this how bad this situation was. And as he began to talk about this, Jay Morrison went into what do they call that? Damage control mode. In fact, I remember when Julian Gordon started, and it's deep. Julian Gordon started to talk about how Jay Morrison used the funds to buy himself his own personal residence. And then he's also taking his cut in terms of his management fee, which is, I'm sure, is outlandish. And then he talked about how Jay Morrison bought land, undeveloped land, with the Tulsa real estate, didn't tell the people either, with the Tulsa real estate funds, and then ultimately sold that land back to himself under a different LLC, but that he owns it. So him and his family own that land. Gave, I think, 3 or 4 acres back, whatever that's supposed to be, because it's the people's money. For this guy, something else. And then tells him you have exclusive development rights. And I thought about that. That's some slick game right there. You're gonna take other people's money to buy this land, and you lay claim to land. And then you give them back like a couple of acres. I don't remember how 3 or 4 acres, because and then you keep like 20 or whatever it is. And then you tell them that if you want to develop the land, you have to keep investing in the Tulsa real estate fund. He's already given up on the Tulsa real estate fund. But this was what the scam was. Another scheme within the scam. But ultimately, if you want to develop this land, who are they going to? They have to put the money in. He's not going to put the money in. And then who are they going to be? If he owns the land, who's collecting rent on that development land? Do they own that property? No, he owns the property. So in addition to paying development costs, however that's going to work, because some of these people live on the other side of the planet. What, you going to move over there? Okay. In addition to that, you're also, it sounds, at least to me, that you would also have to be paying him to actually be building on the land. And once you have your business there, you would have to be paying some sort of, so ultimately for him, it benefits him, and it benefits his pockets. And so what ends up happening, this is the video that I want to actually do a live stream. I want to cover how Julian Gordon explains, because he can explain it a lot better than I am. That's not my lane. Real estate and real estate investment and stocks and all that. The brother's highly intelligent. I want to cover that video and then do Jay Morrison's follow-up video. And I already have the Jay Morrison. If you see this video, well, I don't care. I'll cover it. You can be mad if you want to. I already downloaded it. It's the town hall meeting. And you should see how Jay Morrison, how he behaves, is no different than Umar Johnson. You ask him a direct question, he doesn't give you a direct answer. He starts speaking in circles. It's a slick talk. And by the time we get through that whole video, you realize how conniving this guy is. He's so conniving, beyond measure, really beyond measure. to get that amount of money out of people and still trying to scam. But guess what? More recently, and I'll close out with this, dealing with this particular topic on episode 2 of the Kick It Spot. More recently, the fund has gotten depleted to such a degree. Again, the people who invested these millions of dollars, they haven't gotten anything out of this. Okay. Well, what is at the end, as this has come to a close, and it came to a close a while ago, and I'm talking about Jay Morrison's interest in it. When I mean my interest, I shouldn't say it that way, but his focus on it, because if you go to his YouTube page, he doesn't talk about the Tulsa Real Estate Fund anymore. In fact, that has become defunct. This guy was this goofy. He's goofy. He buys the black house with the money from the investors, but that becomes his what? His kick it spot. Just like Umar buys these trap bandos in Wilmington with other people's money, and these trap bandos that in Wilmington he calls FDMG, that becomes his kick it spot. It doesn't benefit anybody else, but it benefits Jay Morrison for him to get the black house, what he calls a legacy center. It gives the optics that he's making progress. They even have a wall that gives some of the donors' names, just like Umar said he was going to have a wall that has the donors' names. You see this? So he buys a legacy center, and then it just basically slow burn of money, because in order to keep it operational, he has to keep dipping into the fund, not buying back the block, not buying black and creating Black Wall Street. That's not what he was doing. He was enriching himself and then providing himself with a platform, if you will, to give the illusion that he's some big commando in all of this, because he has a black house, a legacy center, and people fall for the okie doke over and over again. Oh yeah, he's doing it. He ain't done nothing for the investors. That's all for him. That's smoke and mirrors. See? Not to go here, but I'm gonna go here. They even create a studio for video recording and video production. But who's that for? Is it for the investors? It's for his wife. This goofy is up there running game shows, literal game shows up there towards the end of this. It was called Credit to Cash or something like that. And it gets people get up there like it's not Family Feud. I can't even remember what that show was. I used to watch it when I was a kid, way back in the day. You hit the button. Yeah, it is Family Feud. Ain't it Family Feud? This goofball, this is what he does. Where I come from, that's called running game. All right. he was running. That's it's goofy too. Anyway, what ends up happening is that because it's not profitable, the legacy is not profitable, and it's basically the fund has been depleted, not just because of legacy, but because of Jay Morrison mismanagement, him using money to enrich himself, to buy himself property, buy himself his own residence. What is he doing now? Well, he put the legacy center / a.k.a. the black house up for sale. And he has no remorse whatsoever. He had a YouTube page, the Tulsa Real Estate Fund. That's defunct. He doesn't post there anymore. He has a website. That's defunct. He doesn't post an update there anymore. He's left this long time ago. This is just like the final stages of this particular con. And then he's going to move into the religious space dealing with the black church. Well, he's already done that. Brother Jose sent in a super sticker. Thank you so much, Brother Jose. I appreciate it. Boy, y'all remember Brother Jose. Thanks, East B. I hope you better subscribe too. I'm gonna check. I heard Umar trying to flee to Africa. We need 70K. I know. I think I had like 70,000 subscribers, and it went down to 69,996. Y'all go on and subscribe, okay? All right. Okay. I have a video I was gonna play, but we already had 40 minutes. So I'm gonna play with Umar talking about how he's gonna be going back to Africa after the school gets open. Okay. Anyway. You guys remember that was the good twin? What's up, Vixen? How you doing? Hope you're doing all right. Yeah, we starting next month. I'll be more consistent. I got a whole setup downstairs and everything. We're gonna get into this. All right, I got I'm sorry, am I yelling too loud? How's it going, honeypot? What was I gonna say? I've set things up downstairs, and I'll be doing different topics, not just Umar, but I will be getting back into Umar. I got several videos now. He is hey, how's it going, Jessica? Amira's here too. How's it going, Amira? The development rights will be void once. Yes, this is an important point too. Real quick, thank you for mentioning this, Amira. Hope you're doing all right. The idea that, and this is why we got to cover. We're going to have to cover, and we will. I'm not going to say we're going to have to. We're going to do a series on Jay Morrison. Jay Morrison, you can get mad. I know you like sending people cease and desist. Umar tried that with me too, and you see what happened. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm not the one. Don't try me on that. Okay, I'm not. I don't lie on Umar. I tell the truth. I have the receipts, and I don't twist things up. People have done that with me. I don't like it. I didn't like it. I didn't appreciate it. People lied on me. I didn't like it. I didn't appreciate it. So I'm not going to do that to anybody else. What you're doing is wrong. And maybe you don't know it, because there are people, they just don't, it just doesn't register that what they're, because people, criminal minded people, they're that way. I don't know. Maybe you, in your own mind, you somehow made this right and you legitimize it. You make excuses as to why this is okay to do black people like this. But I'm here to tell you that what you've done is wrong, and you knew it was wrong, because even this right here, the development rights. See, the development rights mean that as an investor into TREF, you put the money into TREF, he takes the money out of TREF, purchases property, and then puts the vast majority of that property into his name. Then he hands back. It's crazy. I mean, how are you going to sell something to yourself? That's a conflict of interest. But in order to develop the rights, the TREF has to still be functional. It has to be current. So if the TREF ends up folding and it goes bankrupt, then you don't have any development rights, because the development rights is tied to TREF. You don't think that Jay Morrison didn't think about that before he said this? Come on, he knew what he was doing. That's why that town hall meeting is so very important. We're gonna get into it. This is such a good, important point right here. This guy, Jay Morrison, he don't even care. He don't care. What's up, Lasco? At least Jay Morrison had a black house that got the donor's name on the wall. Umar gonna put the donor's name and crown on the RBG rock. Here we go. And my wife, she would say that, I think it was yesterday. She said, you remember when the kids was laughing, or they said something about crayons, because one of them said crowns, because I say crowns. I said, well, and they started laughing. I said, well, what is funny about that? She says, well, because they were saying like you said. I said, if you don't leave me alone, because they say crayons. I say crowns. Anyway. All right. Yes, and this all happens during the best housing market, and he still lost. I don't mean to laugh, but man, that goes to show you this guy, he's a two-bit hustler. Housing market was skyrocketing. We're going to get into this at another time, Mary, but this is such an important point. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to get to that, Easby. Boy, I was really, boy, we're gonna cover some sports in this law. I know we're gonna set out, we're gonna do an hour, but I only got 17 more minutes left. Let me finish up with this Jay Morrison stuff. Then we're gonna come back to the Lakes. What's up, Billie Jean? Oh, he is, Sigmund. He is. He's something else. I've mainly covered Umar, but Jay Morrison, he's up there, because Umar is thoroughly incompetent. I think he fumbles around to figure out scams, because he has all kind of scams. The Donors Club. I mean, we could put together a list right now. The Donors Club, block parties, paint day. Because he asks for donations for everything. You see, and it's just anything he could throw out there. We're going to go to Africa. We want to travel to Africa. But Jay Morrison is so precise. He pinpoints and he makes these connections. Okay, we're gonna say we're gonna buy back the block. We're gonna be buying all these investment property. He never did that. We're gonna say that we're gonna rebuild Black Wall Street. He never did that. But then I have to have a base of operations, so he buys the Black House. But really, that's his kicking spot. That's for him. That's for his wife. And you had some people who were trying to get in there, like Boris Watkins had an office in there. But there's nothing really tangible that's happening there. When it comes to the investors, there's nothing there that's taking place that's going to bring dividends back their way. You see what I'm saying? What happens is it just becomes a money pit. Y'all remember that movie from back in the day, Money Pit, with Tom Hanks and the other lady? Had a little crush on her back then. I was a kid, but that movie right there, don't tell Umar, it's nobody cried. It becomes a money pit, and everything they put into that to renovate it. Sounds familiar? Get all of the fancy furniture in there. Where's that money come from? Jay Morrison ain't got no job. He's a 3-time felon. NFL EPA, the Players Association, they even issued a letter to warn NFL players, and there was an NFL player that did invest with one of Jay Morrison's scams, if my memory serves me right. I think he passed away, rest in peace, if my memory serves me right. But this Jay Morrison guy, see, he pinpoints these things, and he knows where this is going to keep it going, and then he also knows where it needs to go in order for him to have an out. If you guys look at even the verbiage in the legal documents for this TREF, you realize that he was given ultimate power. It puts him in a position where people can't come back at him. They can't come back at him. Now, Julian Gordon did say that from the vantage point of his fiduciary responsibility, but this is a con man. He's a 3-time. He ain't worried about that. See? Anyway, we'll get more into Jay Morrison. We'll start. I will be starting a series dealing with Jay Morrison. Okay. I'm gonna get to this Laker game in just a minute. Yeah, I did cover this extensively for members. I covered it today as well for members, and I talked about what I think is going on with that. Okay. Okay, so let me Parker, what's up, man? Jay Morrison is a perfect mixture of grifting and incompetence. Yes, when it comes to the levels of incompetence when it comes to managing a fund and you're an expert in your field. That's one of the reasons why you have the levels of success that you, because can't nobody touch you on that. You're an expert. But we can't say that Jay Morrison is an expert in terms of real estate investment or managing a fund as a fund manager. See, so in that sense, he's incompetent. But see, what he is, what's allowed him to garner that level of support and to get people to send him that amount of money in a relatively short period of time was his ability to slick talk, give the illusion that he was some sort of an expert, pull on people's emotions by saying that it's about rebuilding Black Wall Street. But then he was very calculating in terms of how he set this up. And when I say setting up, I'm not talking about how he set up this TREF so that his investors would benefit when the dividends are issued. No, I'm talking about he was very crafty in setting it up to where he can extend this as a scam and keep getting money out of people, and then people not receiving dividends, but then he still kept safe, and he can do it until the fund runs out. Okay. So he's incompetent when it comes to money management and when it comes to trying to be he had no intention of managing the money for the investors as a fund manager. That wasn't his intent. See, that's part of why this scam is so sinister. He knew that from the jump. See, but he had just enough smoke and mirrors to give the illusion that he knew what he was doing. But he's thoroughly incompetent when it comes to that. Now, he's very competent when it comes to crafting scams and schemes. And yes, grifts. Okay, and shout out to Pocket Water with JT. This guy right here, he be getting it in. All right. Okay, and thanks for tuning in too, bro. Okay, so let me finish this up because there's a couple of topics I want to get to today, and we're already at the 48-minute mark. Someone said, Jay Orange says, you had people copying a property for $10K, putting $40K into it, and selling it for $500K during the boom, and somehow Jay couldn't. Well, see, you had people, they'll take a $10K, putting $40K into it, and so this is all taking place in the midst of a housing market boom, and yet Jay Morrison, he tricks off $11 million. Well, that speaks to what Pocket Water JT is saying. He's incompetent. He didn't know what he was doing. But see, it wasn't about the investors. It was about enriching himself, because at the end of the day, he walks away with his own property. He owns it. It's Treff's money because he ain't got no job. He's pulling from the fund as a fund manager for his management fee, which is probably way out there. especially for someone who has no expertise or no history or no kind of knowledge base whatsoever. He also has land that he's been able to acquire that benefits him. And then he's also been able to live out his lifestyle over the last, 4 or 5 years, but it's mainly coming out of Trev. There's other aspects of this too, because Tony the Closer, he interviewed this guy. He was a white guy, and this guy helped with the marketing and websites and all this kind of stuff. I wish I could meet that guy because he really sounded like he knew what he was doing, including from a technological standpoint. I can tell he knew what he was talking about. And one of the things that this guy was saying was how Jay Morrison, a lot of it was just Jay Morrison being like a megalomaniac, where he just wanted to be seen as this great figure. And so what was happening at the White House, at the Black House, or at the Legacy Center, was him putting himself in a position where he had full control over a whole bunch of people. But see, he was even incompetent with that, because the guy was saying that the turnover in terms of the people who were even in the building working with him, he said month to month, different people coming in, different people leaving, different people coming, month after month after month after month. Totally incompetent. But he sure did run a scam. See, Umar's incompetent. He's never taught at a school, but he tells people that he wants to open up a school to teach black boys. And he's also going to be the vice principal, and I'm going to assume the school psychologist, whatever, because he think he everything, be Big Papa. But he has no competency with that. But he sure did get a lot of money out of people. So he's competent at the grip of the scamming. Okay, so I'm going to start a series dealing with Jay Morrison. It will probably be, it will be at the beginning of next month, because that's when I'm going to get back into it. But I'm going to be expanding content and getting to other topics. And one of the topics I want to start getting into is I want to start talking about sports. Okay, that's not for everybody, but it'll be quick shows. And once NBA season's over with, then I'll just let that topic go. I only really follow the NBA. Okay, that's enough on Jay Morrison. Let me see if I could do the next things real quickly here in like 9 minutes. I just want to say something about Cat Williams. Cat Williams is smart. He's really smart. Okay, he's genius level smart, because at the beginning of the year he did a show. He was on Club Shay Shay, and I think it's over 60 million views, but it got so many views in such a short period of time, and it set the internet on fire. And when it comes to the black comedy space, it revitalized the black comedy space, because even though he was going at black comics, it's just attention is drawn to even the comics that he may be berating. Okay, it still brings them attention. A lot of people have been able to get more opportunities to do their comedy because of him. I'm talking about black comedians. And then come to find out that he has a Netflix special that's coming out. Now, he already was smart about this because he knew what he was doing. He brings all eyes is on him. He brings his attention because what he was saying inside of that interview, most of you guys, because I covered it, most of you guys probably seen it. But the thing is, right after that, he goes on tour. He does a comedy tour. Okay, so he's selling out venues simply on the strength of him doing the Club Shay Shay interview. It's smart, very smart from a marketing standpoint. He knew what he was doing. He's way ahead of the game. He's 15 moves ahead of everybody else. But then now, come to find out, he has a Netflix special coming out. So this guy is smart. Okay, do I agree with everything he says? No, right? But I can tell you this guy is smart. Now, getting to the Lakers, East B, LeBron James, he needs help. Okay, and I've watched LeBron James when he came into. In fact, I watched LeBron James before he even became an NBA player, because back then they actually had some of his games on when he was in high school. Some of y'all remember they hit the one. This is a long time ago. I watched the Laker game last night, and at one point they were up by 20. Then they're up by only 12, and they end up losing the game on last second shot. And it was crazy. It was a great game, but it hurt my feelings. And I want to tell you all this right now. LeBron James is not the greatest basketball player of all time. He's in the conversation, but he's not quite there. Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player of all time. Okay, I watched both of them. I watched all. I mean, I was a true Jordan fan. Before that, I was a Magic fan, and then I was LeBron, Kobe, etc. But LeBron James can only do so much at his age. And as far as the Lakers are concerned, he needs more help. It's not just him and AD. Because if you look at, let's say, the Nuggets, they have two great players. They have one good player, and they have another player who is all-time great, like LeBron is all-time great. But then they also have all these ancillary pieces, okay, that fit perfectly to where they actually have a championship team. The Lakers are not a championship team. They're top heavy. And then a lot of the players, after you get to the top tier 2 players of AD and LeBron, some of them are good, but they're not great. Some of them are average, but they're not good, but it's not enough to make up for the difference. And that's one of the reasons why the Lakers lost last night. And it was sad. Okay. I went to bed like I was upset. Okay. Yeah. Kobe, he was at Lower Marion in the McDonald's All-American game, best of time. I used to watch Kobe. I remember he came into the league. I was a big Kobe fan then. When Shaq came, they had a falling out, and I sided with Shaq, but then ultimately Shaq left, so I went back to Kobe, and rest in peace, Kobe Bryant. Okay. All right, so I just want to mention that real quick, dealing with the Lakers. They're done, too. They're not going to be winning this series. I don't think they would have won the series even if they won last night. The Nuggets are just too good, and by far, it's not even close. It's not close. Okay, the next topic real quick as I begin to close this out is Nikola Jokic an all-time great? And the answer is no. I've been hearing a lot of people say this about Jokic, the Joker. He's not an all-time great yet. I don't think he's been in the league long enough to be an all-time great, and he only has one championship. That's right, he only has one championship. If he wins a championship this year, I think he's in the conversation. If he wins a third championship, he's going to be in the top 10. But there are people already talking like he's in the top 10, and they're talking about how he's better than Shaq. Okay, no, not yet. He will be if he keeps on his trajectory, but not yet. Because I thought about this. You think about the centers that Shaq had to deal with back then, because it was a center-driven league. Compared to today, it's not a center, it's a guard centered league, if that makes sense, a guard centered league. What all-star level, all-time great level centers is Jokic playing against? There aren't any. We can't say that about Shaq, because Hakeem Olajuwon. He went up against the Admiral. Can't think of his name right now. I can see his mind. Okay, anyway. I can see it in my mind. He went up against what's the guy? The New York Knicks. Why can't I remember these people's names? It's been so long. A lot of people. Well, he's not playing the bit. Embiid's in the other league. He's in the East, so he's not really playing. Yeah, David Robinson. That's what I'm talking about. I would say Embiid is probably the best center that Jokic has had to play with, but it's not like he hasn't played him in the finals, and he's not playing with him consistently because Embiid is in the East. David Robinson, that was one of my favorite. Yeah, I know there's been times where Embiid's got the best of Joker, but that's not the same. If we think about what Shaq had to deal with, Patrick Ewing, he had to deal with Patrick Ewing. There's a whole host of really good centers, Dikembe Mutombo, that Shaq had to deal with. It's not even close to the type of competition at the center position that Shaq had to deal with compared to what Jokic has to deal with. Wemby he's a great defensive player, but it's not like he's on the same. Well, you know what? He's great. I mean, he's really something special because his playing time. It's not like he's playing 34 minutes a game. They got him on a minutes restriction, but he's a rookie. That's the point that I'm getting at. Yeah, here's some more right here. Alonzo Mourning. He's one of my favorite players back in the day. Patrick Ewing, Hakeem. But y'all see my point? That level of competition from the center position doesn't exist in the NBA these days. Okay, it existed in Shaq's day and prior to Shaq. But since that time, it's totally different. You got, centers now who are shooting 3-point. And if we look at these people, these people right here, these are Hall of Famers. What centers has Jokic gone against consistently? I'm talking about consistently that are Hall of Famers. See, that's what I'm saying. It's not the same. Now I'm going to say this though. Yeah, he is. He's great. If Jokic, if he wins another championship, we can start talking. I think it'd be fair to start talking about him and kind of comparing him to Shaq. If he wins a third, then you definitely have to say, because Shaq won 4 championships, and in one of those championships, he didn't get the MVP. The other 3, he got the MVP. But if the Joker wins 3, then we can start talking that type of talk, and then we can start talking. Maybe he's in the top 10. I have Shaq at 10. Okay, so I think that's a fair thing, but I have a problem when people start going just too overboard. It's too soon. And Joker is still fairly young. Yeah. Real quick. He has 2 MVPs and 1 chip. Yeah, just one. See now and real quick. That's why even when the debate the same respect that I have for Michael Jordan being the greatest of all time when people bring up LeBron James. Okay, listen, I'm a LeBron James fan, have been since he came to the league, but I was also Michael Jordan. I watched both of them, and in my opinion, LeBron James is not there. He's not the best. He's in the conversation, but he's not the best. And one of the important factors in this that I look at, and I'll give another example when it comes to Kobe Bryant. When I put together my list, a lot of people said that Kobe was too low. I think I had him at 8. But I have to look at the fact that he won 5 championships, but only 2 of those he won those championships where he was the MVP for those finals. The other 3, Shaq won that. I think that that's something to consider. You know, so championships matter. The longevity of a person's career matters. It also matters in my mind who the level of competition, and we can't compare the competition when it comes to centers in the league today in 2024 compared to what Shaq had to deal with. Okay, and Shaq was destroying people. Okay, he would destroy on the offense. Man, he would destroy Jokic, the Joker. He would destroy him. Okay, anyway, yeah. I mean, we could put Duncan in there, but he also played power forward. I'm talking about like a true center. You know, I guess you could say at a certain point after David Robinson, but I don't consider Duncan to like. I don't say that he's one of the greatest centers of all time. I say Duncan is one of the. He may even be the greatest. Yeah, he would be the greatest power forward of all time, in my opinion. Okay. All right. Okay, so I just want to mention that. And then real quick, I want to just give a shout out to Caitlin Clark. She landed a multi-million-dollar shoe deal with Nike. And she has her own shoe. And from what I understand, she's the first woman athlete, basketball player, to do that. And I can't remember what the numbers are here. I don't even think it matters what the numbers are. Let me just pull this up real quick. But shout out to her for that. Yeah, here it is right here. So she's the most prolific scorer in NCAA. She didn't win the championship this year, NCAA championship this year, but she came close. The NCAA Division I history and the number 1 pick in the WNBA draft will continue her association with Nike by signing a she already had associated with Nike, but she's going to sign a $28 million contract that spans 8 years. Okay, so roughly $3.2 million a year, and includes a signature shoe. So congratulations to her. And I think she's the first. Yeah, she is. She's the first. It's the richest sponsorship contract for a women's basketball player ever. All right. And then the last thing, and really, you know, I'm going to come back to get into, we're going to do a live stream tomorrow dealing with Umar with this sabotage foolishness. But let me just real quickly, let me pull this up, and I'm just going to do this real quick because I should have done this earlier, but we out of time. I said it was going to be an hour and 2 minutes. Let me do this real quick because I want to make sure. Umar's always talking about sabotage, and same thing. I'm sure with Jay Morrison, I'm sure he's come up with excuses too. Because I remember there was a video where he was talking about how he got resistance from people and all this. No, he was a scammer. It's like JT would say, he's a grifter. His current grift is he's trying to get into the black church space, and he has no conscience. He's what's going to do it. What was I saying? Something about sabotage. I'm sure that Jay Morrison came with some sabotage too, because I remember he did an interview where he was talking about people who had betrayed him. Well, this is also a form of sabotage, as if that's the reason why the Treff failed so miserably. You know, it failed because of Jay Morrison's incompetence, like Bob Barker JT said, but it also failed because it's better for it to fail and him collect all the money than for him to keep trying to keep this going, wherein less and less people are contributing to this fund, and he's just running it dry. Because once that paperwork is filed, people are going to find out anyway. I remember in the town hall, he said that it was less than $500,000 or something like that. He didn't give a specific number. Umar does that too. He won't tell you exactly. Okay, so it's better to close this grift out and start a new one than to keep going with this grift because he's already burned so many bridges and he done ran through the money already. What was I looking up real quick? I was talking about sabotage. Oh yeah, real quick. So. And I covered this today for members. So if you guys are interested, become a member. There's a whole archive of member videos. There's all kinds of them. I don't know what he's putting up here now. This guy, it says something about a pink moon in Scorpio. I don't follow Umar anymore. Like I used to really watch it, but I don't do it anymore. But we're gonna get back into it. It ain't gonna be like it used to be, but I'll be doing some lives every once in a while. But this is what it says. Something about a full pink moon in Scorpio. This is how we gonna save the black boys. Okay, we gonna save the black boys. Dr. Umar Chester, PA. Okay, thank you to the kind empress who just anonymously paid my bill. Here we go. Oh my God. Oh man, I see we're gonna have to get back into these Umar Johnson videos. Because evidently he ain't learned yet, he ain't learned, Derek. He ain't learned yet. I'm trying to be serious. Okay, that's one thing I said. Next month when I start these back, I'm gonna be serious. Okay, and professional. I'm gonna get me some nice shirts and everything. Okay, might even get me some ties. But it says full pink moon in Scorpio. I always got to start from the beginning. All right. Thank you to the kind empress who just anonymously paid my bill. Okay. It's those kinds of random acts of kindness that keep me dedicated to this work. It's the small things that always mean the most. Thank you, Empress. Okay. Okay. I wish one of you Empress to pay my bills. All right. Okay. But that's not what I was trying to get to here. Hold on one second. Let me get this, pull this up real quick. And I'll do a full breakdown. Now I'm just going to show it to y'all, then I'm going to be done. Real quick, I also noticed that he talks about black male athletes all the time. But, right now when the NBA starts, especially when the 76ers are in the playoffs, Umar starts talking more about sports. He's from Philadelphia. And y'all know he likes to gamble. And he's posted on his Instagram page in the past how he's going to be putting money down and gamble so he can get more money for the school renovations. Hit the one, y'all remember that? And we also have video footage of him gambling at a casino twice. Those airport casinos. Anyway, that's not what I wanted to get to. Hold on one second. Let me pull this up. Oh, here it go right here. Okay, I did a full breakdown of this, but I just want to show you all this. This is what I covered today for members. Yeah, see, I'm not making it up. He actually likes to gamble, and he ain't got a job. So where does the money come from? Well, it's from his donors. And let me preface this and just apologize for the graphic here, because I don't even understand why Umar would even think to post something like this. But this is what he posted a couple of days ago. And I cover this and I break all this down. It says some coon jammed our padlock with a broken key, and another defecated on the side of the Dessalines Turner Gymnasium. Why can't these Negro peons just leave our school alone? We are building something for our children and community. Okay, this is again the whole sabotage thing. And I explain to people where this lock is located and what this lock is there to protect. This is connected to a chain link fence. And I told people a long time ago when he got those the smaller HVAC that goes on the side of the school, I told people that inevitably people they're gonna strip it down. They're gonna get to it, and they're gonna start stealing parts out of it. And so what does he do? He says we're gonna put a fence around it. Okay, that's a smart move. But the truth is, he should have put a fence from day one. He should have had a construction fence erected around the whole property on both sides of the streets. He hadn't done it. Here we are over 5 years later. And he's finally figuring it out. Didn't I tell people? So what this looks like to me, unless he put the key, and it don't even look like it's an actual key. It looks like someone shoved, they were trying to pick lock the lock. Isn't that what it looks like right there? See? That's what it looks like. And it's probably one of them dope fiends who live over there, and they were trying to gain access so they can start stripping down the HVAC unit that's on the side of these abandoned buildings. It's the gym in particular. And I told people that is exactly what's going to take place. The other thing over there, I don't even know why he posted that. I mean, come on. This is on his Instagram page. So ridiculous. And he's claiming that it's black people. He don't know it's black people that did that. But you got to blame someone. Again, this is sabotage. There's another one right here dealing with the whole sabotage thing. There's always something. Okay, this is a part of our intercom system. He says intercom. Think what it looks like, like a doorbell thing, but it has a microphone attached to it where you can talk to people. It's on the exterior of the building, but it also has a camera on there. It looks like that's a camera lens to me, right? So this is in part a security system, but if someone comes to the door, I guess at a school, Umar figures this is kicker spots like being at a home. So you got to have a doorbell with a peephole. Well, this functions as that. It's not necessarily a school because it's not like you go walk up to a school and they have this, right? But for Umar in his mind, this makes sense. It says part of our intercom system, it cost us a nice penny. Someone snatched it from the wall and cut the wires behind it. We will need to have it replaced. I'm not discouraged that my own people, see this? Yeah, that's what it looks like. It looks like a ring. Yeah. Have it replaced. I'm not discouraged that my own people, he doesn't know that this was black people. And see, here's the thing. If a black person did this, wouldn't he have video footage of this? Because it's a camera. It's like, the ring doorbell things, right? We have one here, right? There should be video. Where's the video footage of it? So prove to us. Okay, we ain't got to prove to me nothing because this saying there was some stank abandoned buildings up there. But prove to the people that this is true, that it's black people. But see, he wants to use black people as a scapegoat for everything. He collects money from black people, but then he wants to blame black people for everything too. See, I'm not discouraged that my own people are there it is, sabotaging this school for our boys. We will preserve it. We will persevere until we succeed or die trying. All right, and then there's one more, and then we're going to be done for today with Kick Spot episode 1. And we're doing good on time. I said I want to do an hour for these episodes, but we're at an hour and 11 minutes. This is the last one I want to get to tonight. This was, again, a couple of days ago. It says new FDMG motorized shutters for our extra large side view. He doesn't say large. You have to make it extra. Everything is extra with this guy. Just like with Jay Morrison. He's going to buy back the block. He's going to rebuild Black Wall Street. New FDMG motorized shutters for our X-large side view windows installed today. Last spring, someone put a large rock. It wasn't that big of a deal. One time he said they threw a boulder through. Everything is so over the top, and it's just the level of hyperbole and exaggeration and embellishment with this guy is just over the top. But it was a little hole. Now, what happened was he took the boards off, right? Because it's been boarded up to that point. It had been boarded up for 4 years. He takes them off, and I told people, you're gonna take them off. People are gonna do what they do in that area because it's crime ridden, it's hood. You wouldn't catch me up over there, not especially at night. Okay, if I had a fast car, I might drive through during the day. Okay? Real quick. I ain't stopping at no stop signs, no stop lights, nothing like that. I'm rolling through. But definitely at night, you're not gonna catch me up there at night. And I told people that this was exactly what was gonna happen. And so he takes the boards off, trying to flex and front. That's what we used to call it, just fronting like he's making progress, the illusion of progress. And then the vandals do what the vandals do, because that's what they were doing before he purchased these trap vandals in 2019. And that's what they're still doing today, because they're still abandoned buildings. So he takes the boards off, and what do the people do? Well, they start breaking windows, trying to break in and get in, just like before. I remember, and we're going to be done. I remember, and it's an older video where Umar was walking through there early on after he had acquired these trap vandals. And I kid you not, he walked past this area. Here I go, Crown area. He walked past this area. And I kid you not, there was a couch with like a sleeping bag on it, and then there was like a table in front of it, like a coffee table in front of it, and it had canned goods up there. See, because prior to Umar even acquiring these trap vandals, people had broken in, they stripped out all the wire, and people living up in there. So when the same types of people, 4 years later, almost 5 years later, when they see Umar taking the boards off the window, what are they going to say? Oh, wait a minute, this is easy access now, like it was before. And that's exactly what took place. And so what does Umar have to do? Umar, and I give him credit, okay, because he's trying to act like he's trying, if that makes sense. But he installs motorized shutters for these extra large side view windows. But I want you all to think about this. What school do you know where someone takes millions upon millions of dollars and purchases it for $400,000? Some of the money goes back towards this leftover, goes back to simple things here and there, blueprints. You know, we're gonna paint the outside with old paint that was already there. You know, we're gonna throw some block parties, that kind of stuff. And then they inevitably they have to put up motorized shutters on the windows. What kind of school is this? And that's why I explained deeper into this, and I'll leave it at that for the member video. This is no different than trying to create a fort, like a prison. Look at this. See, think about this, and I explain this too for members. If your security system is not even secure, what does that say about the area that you have the school in? See, the security system is not even secure. He's talked about how the cameras, how those have been damaged. People have torn them down and this type of thing. Okay, well, what does that say though? Well, it goes to show you how this area is not safe. And then somehow he expects people to pay $500 a month to send their child, and in some cases out of state, to a hood, a drug and crime infested neighborhood where they have motorized shutters on the windows at the schools. Let me tell y'all something. There's a right way to do things and there's a wrong way to do things. And if we have to relegate Black children to a scenario wherein they're going to have to pay $500 a month to attend a trap bando where there are motorized shutters, where people are on the windows, where people are defecating outside, where on the backside it's like it looks like a Freddy Krueger, Michael Jackson Thriller scene when Reverend Jerry Juice walked back through there. See, that's unacceptable. And yet Umar still, after 14 years, continues with this school scam. And there are people who still believe in this foolishness. Okay. So tomorrow I'll be doing some live streams. I think we should get in a full. I just got to figure out which one we're going to do. We'll get into a full live stream dealing with one of these Umar Johnson videos that I haven't covered yet. Okay. Yeah, I know. Motorized shutters just scream safety. And there are people who see this and they're like, wow, he's really making progress. No, it's actually, oh my God, some of this, I can't read this. Yeah, I know. That's what I thought. I thought maybe he's gonna like sell tacos out of the side of the building because he said it was gonna turn it, you know, this roll it on up, sell some tacos. Yeah, the bars on the windows in Los Angeles. Yeah, I know. And that's what I thought. That's why I was saying it's like FDMG prison industrial complex. I don't mean to be funny like, you know, but that's what it reminds me of. Motorized shutters on school. Yeah, I know. I know it is. It really is. I don't even know why he went FDMG lockdown. FDMG lockdown. All right. Lenon, I rode through at night up there April 8th, 2024. Okay, April, that's not too long ago. It looks the same. No renovations done outside. I got paid. Okay, yeah. If you want to send it to me, you can send it to me. We can cover it tomorrow. So tomorrow we'll do a live stream specifically dealing with Umar. I'll probably live stream during the day too, just on other stuff. But for sure, I'll set it up tonight before I go to bed, and we'll get back into the swing of things. I want to thank everyone too for tuning on. Thanks y'all for being patient. I also want to give a special thanks to the members. I really appreciate it. We have a lot more members than I ever thought that we would get. And I appreciate the support. I really do. Okay. Real quick, James Dean said, in the words of Umar Johnson, one thing I do know for sure, dishonorable people never let the truth get in the way of a good lie. an original quote, never let the truth get in the way of it. Yeah, you know how he be mixing and matching the stuff. You know how Umar is. He just be embellishing. Okay. Then I got pictures and everything. Yeah. If you can send them to me, you can email them to me. Yeah, FDMG is a fort. Yeah. Yeah. FDMG Fort Knox. They probably got sirens and everything that go off when they close these bad boys down. Take your hands away from the windows. Okay. Start the lights start flashing. Yeah. It's FDMG Rikers Island. We okay? Okay, let me get up out of here. He was probably thinking about that couch table in Kansas. I wouldn't be surprised, but he probably had a snack or two. Okay. But yeah, it really is. It's turned into a basically the kicking spot for football, but now he has to get the motorized setters. Okay, let me get up out of here. Thank y'all so much for tuning on in. I hope y'all enjoyed episode 2 of the kicking spot. Thank y'all so much for tuning on. Thanks everyone who sent in super chats as well. I appreciate it. We'll be back tomorrow and we'll be covering. I just got to figure out which video we'll cover for tomorrow. I have a list right here. He was at Copen, I think it's pronounced Copen State. It might be Copen State, where he was talking about FDMG, and someone said he was lying in that, and I haven't watched it yet. But we may either do that. The video where he's talking about doing an Africa trip. That was really interesting. Also, I want to go back and cover where he's talking about moving to Africa after FDMG opens. We probably can actually tie some of these together. There's also an interview with Father David. I actually have the full interview. I just got to go through and edit out the commercials and the music. In fact, I'll do that. I don't have enough time to do that tonight. That'll be on my schedule for tomorrow morning when I get up. I'm on vacation until Friday. And then the paint day fiasco, I have videos on that, and I don't know what the status is of that as of right now, but we'll get caught up on that. And then the last video that we'll end up covering either tomorrow or in an upcoming day. Umar states that the city of Wilmington denied FDMG's certificate of occupancy because of their discriminating against him. So he's using discrimination as another example of sabotage. And then I want to get into Jay Morrison, start a series on Jay Morrison. I'm not going to say I want to. We will be starting a series on Jay Morrison that we're going to get into the history of Treff, but part of the history is understanding Jay Morrison's history as a 3-time felon, reported 3-time felon. He has a criminal record. That's relevant. NFL paperwork from the Players Association that they issued for NFL players to basically warning them about Jay Morrison. This goes back many years ago. There's also some early Jay Morrison videos that are very interesting to take a look at. He was on the Breakfast Club. He's also on DJ Vlad. Well, then we'll tie that to Julian Gordon and what he's talked about with the Tulsa Real Estate Fund and how it's become a complete failure. But then also how Jay Morrison has finagled this fund, not only for his personal benefit, but also for the benefit of his family, which includes a home and acres of land. And then now he's trying to sell the Black House. And Julian Gordon asked a critical question. It was very important. He said, well, if he sells the property, does he take the money that he receives from the sale of that property and issues that money back to the investors? Or does he keep it for himself? Okay, very interesting how all this has turned out. And then I think the most important video that we'll cover in that series, we'll also cover a couple of Julian Gordon's videos. But Jay Morrison, he did a Treff town hall meeting, and that right there, that's all that anyone would ever have to see, because you can draw a correlation between how he behaves and how he talks. He's a slick talker, and how Umar talks. But he actually, even though he attempts to try to keep things secret, he actually exposed himself to the extreme in that particular video. So we will be starting a series on Jay Morrison here on my YouTube page. Okay, thank you all so much for tuning on in. Please enjoy the rest of your evening, and I'll talk to y'all very, very soon. Shout out to the Kick Chat. You all undefeated. All right, y'all take care. Peace.